Welcome to another episode of Wild Truth. I'm really excited. I have two of my good friends here, and I put a lot of thought into which comedians would match their the podcast energy the best. What in my head, what will be the best conversation? So I'm excited that we made this happen. Jamie Kennedy, you know him from all his movies and TV appearances, all the way from Scream and Malibu Most Wanted. And then I have someone who I find one of the sweetest people in the world of comedy, Eleanor Kerrigan.
Oh, I thought somebody else was coming in.
No, it's you. It's you.
I'm the
You
sweet?
know it.
Come on.
She's so loved in the world of comedy. And you have a superpower which I want to talk about.
I know. Sitting on it.
She's got a new album coming out. It's called Ladylike.
Ladylike.
You got to listen to the new comedy special. And here's what I love to do, because when comedians sit down and hang out, it's the best conversation until the camera rolls, and then all of a sudden it loses that fucking magic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I
want us
figured,
to leave?
no, I want I want us to stay and really go into the zone that we really are usually together when we're just hanging out in the corner of the comedy club. Usually those talks are the best. Jamie is whining about how much he fucking hates the world, and Eleanor is giving me encouragement that I still can fucking do better. That's the conversation.
We have to thank the culture, though, for trying to shut us up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's we can't say what we want to say. Our bloodline. I think comedy should be a political party. What are you, comedian?
Oh, I like
Because
that.
that's the first thing that we go with. Anything else, like the joke is before family, relationships, money. It's the joke.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, but
Yeah.
Maybe I always tell Max you could do better on your jokes.
and maybe by the end of this podcast, Jamie will get canceled.
Oh,
Jesus.
shit.
and I understand that
Body.
stupid thing.
Body.
Yes, that Jamie. That Jamie.
That Jamie.
We
Oh,
love
sorry. We
Jamie.
switched.
Well, look, both of you been in this game for so long, and I'm gonna go through these questions for both of you, so we can both answer it. And I kind of love the idea that
So
both
nervous.
will have different. No, but let me
Are they getting my
start
legs
from
in this shot? I just want to know. 'Cause-
everything is in the
oh,
shot.
Jesus.
I'm showing
Everything.
leg.
Let me do this then.
Bare leg.
Let's go to OnlyFans. I'm sorry, guys.
Now,
I wasn't
Eleanor,
prepared.
you've been doing comedy for so long now, but now I've known you for so long, and now because you're coming on the show, I did some research and I learned all these new things about you that I
boy.
didn't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no idea you were a female wrestler.
I like that you said female, because I am very confusing to people when they say. Isn't that bullshit? I did the same goddamn moves as men. You could see me drop kicking anybody at any given. I could drop kick
Dude.
Jamie from here.
Dude, let me tell you something. I saw a video.
That was my name, Easy Rider. How
Easy
horrid.
Rider. Yeah, her nickname was Easy Rider.
Is that? Oh,
That
you
was
said
my
that's what you
name.
said upstairs. Because she said I played this club and I had an Easy Rider, and I'm like, oh, she didn't request like the M&Ms.
They brought me in
But
during
her-
a motorcycle rally because it was
Oh my
Easy
God,
Rider.
I thought it
I
was-
was a motorcycle.
I thought you had an Easy Rider.
Okay.
So I watched a video of you. There's a
Who
video.
was I fight? There's a ton of them.
You're-
Yeah, we were
there,
on
there
for
was,
a while.
There was a video that it was so funny. I swear to
Wait
God.
a minute.
This shit
Wrestling's
looked,
not funny. It should be
yeah,
serious.
but yours looked so freaking hilarious that I'm like, no wonder she became a comedian.
And I would play to the
You were-
crowd. It
you
was
were
the
like-
Foreman Inglewood. That was my move. Fucking
You were,
pelvic thrusting.
she was like hitting with
Oh,
her
the
ass. She
Bronco
was hitting
Buster.
the lady's chest. I'm like, what
Wow.
fucking move is this?
Tremendous forearm by Thug, and now we got a rodeo going on with Easy Rider.
That's female wrestling.
That's the Bronco Buster. That's a Bronco Buster. The men do it too. They like to put their balls on somebody's chest too.
But there's no balls. You were doing your
Yeah, I
ass
don't
to the
have balls.
face or something,
No,
to,
no,
the,
no.
to her chest or to her stomach. Stomach.
No, it's
You
her
were-
chest. It's called the Bronco Buster.
It
I
was
was
so
a professional
funny. It was so
wrestler.
funny.
Was it against Selena?
Yeah, she was like this, and you
The
were just
best
I was
was-
like, is this porn or is this wrestling?
Can I explain it? So
What was this?
I-
Was this
it-
off of Sunset? You know that
no,
oil spot?
that's- Yes, I did do the mud wrestling for a while, but this I got out of the mud and I put on jeans.
Okay.
And so
you love Glow.
This was an audition, right? The movie's great the TV show's great because I literally lived that.
Okay.
I went to an audition. I wasn't gonna go. Because I was like, what is this? And it was in a hotel room. So I'm like, oh, I'm definitely going to channel Meryl Streep here. I got this.
No,
right?
you're definitely some sort of.
When it's in the conference hall in a hotel.
Was it before or after 10 p.m.?
It was a little before.
Okay.
So I thought,
right.
this could work.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to go. And the night before the audition, I was I was waiting tables at the Comedy Store. And
waiting. See, that's a Philly thing, Max. I was waiting.
I've been home for like 6 months, so I'm fucking crazy right now.
Mary Easttown. Go ahead.
They got me doing a suburb accent when I'm an inner city kid. We talk like this. We go fast. We don't even.
Yeah.
We don't do what you do.
So legit right now.
Right there, what he's doing is at that suburb shit. He's got fucking money.
She's a Philly.
No, don't distract from the story.
Okay,
so you're
okay.
Waiting tables.
I'm waiting tables at the
before.
store. And I wasn't going to go. And then the bartender, Freddie Soto, and Joe Rogan, and like a few others, we were just hanging out, and they were like, you got to do it. You got to go and just do a character you know from like when you were a kid. So I was like, okay. So I went in my car, and I have a baseball bat in my car. Naturally, it's a Philly thing.
Yeah.
So I get out, and I go in the kitchen, and I start doing this dumb character and hitting things. And they were like, you have to do that. Do it. So I did, and I thought, I'm not going to get the show. I'm going to get arrested.
So how was the audition? You went in there like
Hilarious.
really swinging
I was just
it, like
fucking
being
swinging it at the camera.
Super into
the
it.
guys were.
Baby bat or a big bat?
It was a decent sized bat, a little league bat. I'll say a
Okay.
little league. We call them thumpers in Philly. We just keep them. What if we get the thumper because you could still say, oh, I
You have to
used
stop
it to
saying
play.
in Philly. I'm from Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're from the suburbs. Do you guys have weapons in your car like we do?
No, but I know everything that you're going
Okay,
through. But go ahead.
But we still keep them in there. I don't know why. It was
They're
like always weapons, just random things. But if you have a little league bat, if a cop pulls you over, you could say, I have a kid or I'm playing. But the other ones, they would take them from you.
Wow.
Oh, okay. It's a whole thing.
But look, back into
I
this thing.
digress. Back to the wrestling show. So I go to the audition. I get the part, right? And I call my mom, and I'm like, oh, how am I going to tell my mom? Because all she wants me to be is this little girl. And I'm this tomboy. I have 6 brothers. I don't even I have 6 brothers, 3 sisters. I didn't even know I was a girl until like a month ago. Like
Wear a condom.
Right?
Jesus.
They don't pull
Look
out.
who's talking. I found out you have 6 siblings.
I have a lot too.
It's an Irish thing.
I think it's just that region.
Irish
People love to have
Catholic.
babies.
Yeah.
Is a double negative.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. And they just don't pull out. They're
No,
disgusting people.
You get one sex a year, and it ends up in a pregnancy.
My mom said she had sex 10 times.
Yeah, exactly.
And she had 10 kids.
10 kids.
I'm like, bitch, you had a
Wow.
miscarriage once. So that's 11 times. So I go to the audition. So whatever. I get the part, and I have to call
What
my
hotel
mom.
is it?
I don't remember. It was like down.
Is it
was
Century
like
City?
No, it was like in Inglewood.
Oh God, you really.
But,
Yeah.
but here's
God
the
bless
thing.
you.
You get the job, right?
Yeah, I got the
you
job.
book the job,
I
and then you
call my-
become like
a wrestler, But
working wrestler.
I did at first. I didn't know. I was like that girl in Glow. How they wrote it. Like I thought it was a TV show. We were just going to be playing, like character-y. And I was like, oh wait, I gotta wrestle. So I was like, shit, I gotta call my mom and explain this. So I call my mom, and I'm on a cell phone. It's 1999, and I said, Mom, don't get mad at me. I'm gonna take this show. It's a wrestling show. She goes, oh honey, they have great women characters on that show. So what the fuck? My mom hates this.
No.
So I go, you know what? I'm going to call you when I get home. It took me like 15 minutes to get to my apartment. I get to my apartment. I call my mom's house. My sister answers. She goes, yo, you're going to be on West Wing?
West Wing. Oh.
She told everybody. She told the whole. She was outside telling the neighbors.
How did she get the West Wing?
She
from
said, if you say
Glow?
wrestling and West Wing in the sentence fast, it sounds the same.
Oh my God, wrestling! Oh my God.
So she was very
So,
proud.
She was furious. I had to explain to my whole family that I wasn't going to be hanging out with Martin Sheen. I was going to have a woman with a mullet and a sleeper hold.
Oh my God.
It's a big difference.
How long were you a wrestler for?
We did 2 seasons, and now I do commentary for them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, these girls are phenomenal. It's called Wow Superheroes, and they are Amber O'Neil, all these. David McLean created Glow, And then he did Wow Women of Wrestling. Glow was like in the 80s. Wow Women of Wrestling was in early 2000s.
Where is it distributed?
We were on the new one's on Fuse.
Okay.
Oh wait, I'm terrible.
You should have been on that Netflix TV show.
I did. I auditioned. I had a great audition, and then the show got. It was right before the pandemic, and it was a great character because I would have played an older retired wrestler
totally
who was bitter, and I was
Yeah.
so excited about it.
You know, our business is crazy because sometimes there are projects that you go, oh my God, I
is
am
perfect.
the person.
Yes.
Like, why don't you see this? I mean, that reminds me
I need a
of Jamie
better
Kennedy's
agent.
career.
Oh wait, I don't have
Which
one.
is why.
Except he fucking landed every fucking role
Yes,
and beyond. Like this is crazy. So I love that story.
Jamie's like living with my nightmare right now watching him because my second ex-fiance, his children used to watch Malibu's Most Wanted on fucking repeat.
Really? Who's your
So-
second ex-fiance?
Andrew Dice Clay.
Dice?
You didn't know this? Wait a minute.
No.
You didn't know
And
Yes,
these
you
kids
did.
love B-Rad Jeezy for Sheezy?
Oh my God. I vomit, like Comet. And they would do it over and over. I'm like, God damn it.
Shrink, shrink, blinkety blink. Try to make me think. Want to go to my sink and vomit. Clean it up with Comet. Earth is my planet.
this? Eleanor was on a reality show with Dice.
Yes, VH1.
Yeah,
Dice
yeah.
Undisputed.
Yes, I
You
know.
you could use Google too, Jay.
Yeah, I can.
He
I'm
only
still on
Googles
Earthlink.
himself watching his own shows.
Hashtag facts.
But also I gotta say, when
I like
you were
this
on
meme
that
nugget.
show, he had a fucking major career moving.
No, unbelievable. And we
timing,
love it. I'm
timing,
telling
really.
you, we watched Malibu's Most Wanted on a loop. It
Oh,
was
wow.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. It
was
That is really
great.
sweet.
We had a blast.
That's crazy.
Like I follow everybody from that movie because I'm just like, oh, I remember. Like this is watching them grow up and watching it so much. I'm like, oh, they were in Malibu's Most Wanted. Anytime I see them in anything later, I always go back to that.
Wow. I'm a reference point.
How
See
do you
that?
feel about this? How do you feel about that movie being brought up more than any other thing you ever done?
How do you know it is?
Yeah, you've got some great stuff.
Here's the thing.
But I love.
What
Am I
about
wrong?
Bowfinger?
Am I
I
wrong?
love you. It's top two. It's
Yeah.
it's that. It's Scream.
Screams
It's
big. Yeah.
it's my show. It's Bowfinger too for people that are super cinephiles because it's just a great movie,
Yeah,
but it's
so
kind of
good.
under the radar. But it's a classic. I mean, I love it. Are you kidding me?
I mean, none of them
blessed.
are as big as wrestling, but
Yeah,
yeah. Go ahead.
They're not wow on Fuse, but
Did you audition in a hotel? I'm just asking.
I've had auditions in hotels. Let me just explain that to you.
How did you know the audition was in a hotel?
They tell you.
Okay.
You go.
Okay. So
I've
I just
had-
want to know why Jamie knows that female wrestling auditions take place in
I did it-
hotels.
Well, she said
Just
it. I didn't
wrestling.
know.
Just wrestling.
I didn't
wrestling.
do nothing. I didn't. She. No, but the funny thing is I've auditioned for in hotels a lot.
But I just want to say that I'm happy that you love the fact and you feel blessed that people like you for the stuff that you've done.
Why wouldn't I?
Because I see so many actors, comedians, singers, when they're known for one thing that they've done a while back, and people constantly only remembering them from that one thing or those couple of things, they're constantly like, well, shit, man, I've done all of these things too. And they have this attitude of not being grateful for being known. Like I know so many comics that are known for one joke. And when people bring that joke up, I don't want to say the name of the actors that I know, and
You
they
can say it.
constantly complain about this shit. And they're like, oh, fucking, I hate it when they call me this. Like, dude, this is a blessing. Take that in because they
Yeah.
love you for it, and then maybe explain to them that you've done other shit. And
It
you got
depends
new
on
stuff
how
coming.
big the thing is. Like I do tour with Dice still, and they from the minute he comes out, they scream for those nursery rhymes, and I'm like, that's 30 years ago. You know what I mean? Like they don't care. That's what they want. So he'll do his whole act. He'll keep them in, and then at the very end, he gives them the nursery.
That's
rhymes.
amazing.
And then and then there's the other side of it. People will go, "You're still doing the nursery rhymes? You didn't write like
You
what about
can't
the
win.
whole hour
You can't win.
before?"
Here's what I would say to that is that I'm actually in this new place. Like, I'm very happy about it. I'm very grateful, and it's like I say this. I work with who works with me. Like I go where I'm loved. You know what I mean? And I've made stuff, and people that consume it, you know, I work with them, and I try to make stuff for them. Do I want to expand my audience? Of course, but I was thinking about it now. Like when the Pantheon's done, in terms of stuff, the amount of stuff I've been involved with that has made a mark on pop culture, I'm so lucky. It made certain stuff. I've been in some really like high end stuff, you know, and I've been in some really loud, stupid stuff. But it's really about what people quote. Right. And like I've been in some really quotable things, and it's like maybe the Academy didn't recognize certain stuff. But so I'm fortunate because at the end of the day, I think people care more about what mark did it make on pop culture. So just like you're saying, like with Dice Nursery Rhymes, it's an undeniable mark on pop culture.
Right.
And it's like that to me is the most exciting thing.
But also B-Rad should have been nominated for an Oscar. Facts.
Low key facts.
How were you married to him
Whoa,
for
whoa,
so
whoa, whoa.
long?
Wasn't
I
married.
just wanna-
Engaged.
Engaged.
I'm not a
Okay,
closer.
okay,
Relax.
Okay.
I've been engaged 3
Okay.
times.
Wow.
I'm always tagging out because I'm a wrestler at heart.
You know, you've had such an interesting life.
Thank you.
Really. And
Tell everybody else.
But
because-
okay, can I say this? I opened my intro here today saying that Eleanor, I meant everything I say, that you are one of the sweetest people in this game, one of the kindest.
And you as well. You're a nice person.
thank
That's
you.
why I'm nice back to you. You get what
You're
you
nice
put
to
out.
everybody, Eleanor. You are. But and then when I just look at the short version of your story here today, you were a female wrestler, and you're a stand-up
Jury's
comedian
out on that female
who was
part.
engaged to Dice Clay. I mean,
Hey, what about my first ex-fiance? He was pretty cute too.
Yeah, I'm not talking about how they look, but I'm saying if you don't know her, right? If I'm telling you I'm going to bring this girl.
Wait, you didn't know I was engaged to Andrew for real? I thought you were kidding.
Swear to God,
That's hilarious.
I thought you had a girlfriend, but
Because
But-
I'm playing softball at the end of this?
at the end of it.
If you didn't know who Eleanor was, and I described that you're about to meet this girl who was a wrestler, engaged to Dice Clay, she's a stand-up comedian, you would imagine nothing like Eleanor. You would imagine this girl that comes with her
Wait a
with her
minute, you're saying my
tattoos on her
career-
forehead and fucking torn up leather jacket.
That's because you're a product of society and you don't understand. Don't
First of all,
marginalize us.
I will say this add to that is that I knew you and Dice worked together all the time, so I knew you guys hooked up. I didn't know you guys were about to.
Oh, see,
That's
that's my favorite thing.
judgmental.
That's my favorite man thing.
No, hold on.
I work with a lot of guys.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
sleep with all of them.
But you and Dice were always working together, and I had heard that you guys
Because
probably
we were.
Yeah, I didn't know you guys
We
were
were
gonna
together
go-
for 5 years.
I didn't know you were going to go to the chapel.
No, I didn't. I regained consciousness and I tagged out.
This is what's happening. But here's the thing: is why she is how with him, because if you watch all their videos together,
Oh, yeah, we
she,
fight like a-
she busts balls right back.
We
and
fight
that's a
like
total
an old
Philly
married
thing.
couple.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I was
but-
like, definitely, at least anal has happened here.
No,
Cut that out.
no,
Just cut that out.
just like the way you
No,
did it. There was
don't.
not
Anal's
even
my
a
favorite,
transition.
but I don't do it with Dice.
into
He's
that.
not into it. Just kidding. Everybody else,
That's
though.
probably the most backhanded compliment Dice has ever gotten in his life. Like all his macho-ness just went down the drain.
Ass play. That's not my thing. All right, I don't want to do impressions because I'll start drying up.
Every headline will say Dice Clay does not like anal. He loses his entire fan base.
Yes.
Like the next day, they're like,
No,
fuck this
he
shit.
just likes to put his thumbs up chicks' asses.
Chicks asses.
It's in one of his specials, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
So I got my thumb up this chick's ass, I think. What are you looking at?
I'm
Hey,
looking at
Dice
the
is
woke mob.
grandfathered in. He can say
That's true.
whatever he wants.
I know, it's brilliant.
That's amazing.
I
He's
know.
lucky with that.
It's brilliant. I watch his cameos as a fan, and I watch.
Oh,
I
his
want you to
cameos.
are brilliant, and I learn how to be a better cameoer.
You're supposed to be what? 2 minutes? Maybe
2 minutes.
3?
I feel like
He does 20.
yeah, he does.
Wow.
Sometimes 15.
Yeah.
Depending on how the person, what they're
Wow.
looking for.
And
if it's a
fuck-
motivational
yeah.
speaker.
Hilarious.
Dying.
And fucking roasts. I mean, cooks the person.
Yeah.
Till they're fucking toasted. And it's hilarious.
He must be doing really well.
Yeah, I put
Oh,
up a
he
video.
kills.
We were in Minnesota, and we were in the House of Comedy. We were there working, and Andrew, he's like, I got to do some cameos. I'm like, okay. So I'm just sitting there like a putz watching him, and he's literally like, and I'm banging my butt, and he's going on and on. And I just started filming myself reacting to him. And he was like, you have to post that because it's so bad. It's just like, why would he subject me to sitting there? As he's just, this guy, they're like, the guy's like not feeling well. He's down and, you know, he just got divorced. And so he gives him this motivational speak, but the motivational speak is like the worst thing you could ever hear as a woman.
Oh my God.
So
But I don't
funny.
get offended. And I honestly, I think it's really hard to offend me. And that's why,
Yes.
because of my brothers,
Yes.
I shared a room with them. There was 7 of us in the one room.
Yes.
And so, like, I got roasted every second. And they still, like, my brother Bobby bought me a shirt, I think it was 2 years ago, that said I'm a lesbian and nobody knows it because they really thought, they were like, oh, she's just going to be a lesbian because I always played sports. And then I became a female wrestler.
But
And
you
they
know
were
what?
like, is she? Is she a
Whatever it
female
is,
wrestler?
if it's your brothers that you have brothers or whatever it is, you still have such a gentle, soft side about you, and you're in the most male-dominant industry with the crazy, like with all these crazy comedians, and top of the list being Dice. That
People
you were
say,
engaged to.
do you get offended by the comics? Like, or, you know, is that hard if you do a roast or something? Like, I've done some roast, like private roast and stuff like that with people. And they're like, oh, my God, there so-and-so was there and this person was there. Does that hurt your feelings? And I'm like, no, you want to come to my mother's house? You'll shit your pants.
Yeah.
These people are nothing comparatively. Nothing. They mean nothing. I bring Jeff Ross, he'd leave crying. Like, it would just, they're horrible.
That's true.
Horrible and amazing at the same time.
It's like the comedy
not wrong.
boot camp at
No,
Eleanor's
it's
family
the
house.
East Coast, and they
Yes.
have that.
They're not very encouraging.
No, I went home. Like, I drove cross country during the pandemic, me and my niece, and I got to my mother's house. As soon as I got there, as soon as I got there, they're like, what are you doing here? How long you staying? What do you want? Like, I couldn't come back? I can't come visit? What are you here? Why did you here? Why are you back? Did you hear Joey got out? You're not getting back with him. What? No, that's not why I'm here.
You're like, I'm
Like
recording all of this
crazy.
shit for stage.
Yes. I'm like,
the
I need
best.
material, you little shits.
You
Help
can
me
destroy
out.
any heckler with just fucking having these comebacks. So I know that you both play every club in LA, and I want to see what your relationship is with each comedy club, and obviously your favorite and why.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm a bias to the Comedy Store because I was a waitress there for 12 years. Quit to get engaged to my second ex-fiance.
What, can we just
That
say
one.
Dice?
Yes.
Okay.
But he hates when I call him my second ex-fiance because then it means he's not first. So I like to say it because it's a
Okay.
ball-breaking thing. So,
Who's the third?
oh, he's got to. Anyway, so I waited tables. Then I quit for a year. I quit for a year and a half. My best friend passed away, and I came back doing stand-up right after. Like, how do you leave? You waited tables there, never wanted to do stand-up, and then came back a year and a half later to do stand-up.
Before you go in there, you went back to do comedy because you were also with Dice.
No. When I was with Andrew, I wasn't doing stand-up. When you remember Freddie Soto?
Yeah.
Freddie Soto was
Yeah.
my best friend. And when Freddie Soto passed away, I kind of like tagged out. I didn't know what was happening. It was too a lot. And then 20 days later, my grandma passed away, and I just kind of tagged out of life for a while. And I ruined my relationship with Dice, which is why we're such good friends, because he was very good to like seeing me unravel and try to help me stay together. And then we kind of just drifted apart, but stayed very close. Because he has full custody of his kids, so I helped him raise his kids. We had to watch Jamie's fucking movie over and over again. So we're very close.
I was a fucking babysitter.
You helped keep him quiet
right?
while we were getting one out in the back room.
You were the babysitter.
Not anally.
No, we weren't. But so then so Freddie always used to tell me to do stand-up. And I'm like, of course, misery loves company. Right. I want to be miserable like you. So about a year and a half later, I started doing what I called a one-woman show. Dice came to see it in the belly room of the Comedy Store, and he's like, "You're doing stand-up, stupid." 'Cause he's a nice person, and we had the reality show at the time. So he said, "Let's go on the road." And we'll promote the show. They'll love you. They'll know you from the show. Now, the nerve of me 3 months in to go open for Dice.
Beautiful.
No.
How much time did you have? Did you have 5
8
minutes?
minutes.
8. That's not bad.
That's
But
great.
only because I went to Adam Barnhart's class.
Wow.
And
8 minutes after 3 months.
Him
is
and
impressive.
Cynthia Levin helped me build a.
That's great. What,
Yeah.
you wanted to go to fucking open mics in Los Angeles for
no,
3 fucking
but
years?
in California, it was great.
You literally got jumped in.
No.
Literally.
It was worse than that. In California, it was great. They were like, Eleanor, we love you. As soon as we got to New York, nay. I went on stage at the theater in the Westbury in Long Island. And I go out, and Dice was like, you should wear like high boots, short shorts, like show them your tough attitude. I'm like, short shorts? Isn't that my clip? Like, I don't, whatever. Like, it was just a weird. So I did, and I said I'm from Philly, and New York, they're like,
Oh, shit.
So cute. Well, it does stick out. So
Short shorts, isn't that my clip?
You hung on that.
It came out.
I should have said camel toe. He doesn't relate.
I'm literally into the story.
So I go like he had 2 veteran comics go out. Then they took an intermission. Then,
Oh my god.
I know. Then I come out.
Why don't you open for a
boots,
band?
Clit out, cute little top. I'm up there. I say I'm from Philly. They're like, boo, fuck you, fuck the Eagles, fuck the Philly. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I heard somebody yell out, where's Dice? And I'm like, he's up my ass. You want to tickle his feet? That's such a Philly thing.
And probably a big laugh.
Yeah, not that big, but a decent. But they were still booing. And then my sister drove up from South Philly to see me. And we're 10 years apart, but we look exactly
Is this
alike.
being recorded for the television, for the reality show?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. We had
good,
gotten
good.
canceled by that point.
Oh,
We
shit.
weren't coming back.
OG canceled though.
Yeah.
Just
so
like normal television
bye.
canceled.
Like nothing. No farewell. No no announcement. Just goodbye. And so I'm like on stage getting booed from every side of me. And I remember locking eyes with my sister, and she just threw her hands up, like, "What do you want to do? You want to fight this whole fucking room? Let's do it!" Like, and in my head, it kind of made me like giggle for a second because I was like, the headlines will read tomorrow like 2 South Philly girls tried to fight Long Island, like. So I bowed out and
Female wrestler.
Yeah, the female
beats
wrestler.
the whole audience.
and I was thinking of drop kicking people. I had the boots, but I was so nervous up there. Like I was sweating and my bra slid down. It was like a cute little half bra.
Boob
So
sweat.
now I got boobs on my stomach. Oh my God, it was terrifying. And then I got off and Andrew was like, I'm not going out there. Fuck them. How dare they do that to you? You're my family. I'm like, no. They want to see you. They don't give a fuck about us. Just go kill him. He went out. He had the best set of his life because he was so angry at them. And then I went in the dressing room. I called my mom, and I'm like, I got booed off stage. I'm like, and Karen's down there. Just whatever. She might be fighting a section. I don't know. and my brother Tommy was like, oh, fuck them. They booed Blondie. They don't know shit. I'm like, that's not really relevant, but okay. But it made me laugh. So.
And Dice is like, please bomb every time, so I have the best set of my life.
Well, then he let me go for a year. He goes, just go see if you really want to do stand-up because,
After that.
Yeah,
After that, he
because
says, go do your own thing.
Go do your own thing. And so it took me another, almost a full year. We had to go to Vegas and showcase kind of to open for him to see what I've been doing. So
But you stuck to it. You stuck to it.
And then
it's
I vowed to
incredible.
never get booed again, especially in Long Island.
You've been booed?
And I love Long Island. I kill it.
What's the worst fucking booing story you have?
It's not good, and I'm scared to tell it.
Why? I've been booed. Everybody's been booed.
Oh yeah, even Blondie.
With clit out. Like you put your clit out and you get booed. I mean, fuck. Doesn't it get worse than that?
This little fruit roll up was out, and they didn't care.
Because the way people could take it would be terrible. Okay, so I'll try to tell it in a way that's safe.
Richard Pryor got booed.
Of course. You're going to get booed. You're going to get heckled. You're going to get all that. I was playing a lot of colleges. And
They're the worst.
Well, the money's incredible.
The money's incredible. The gig is the worst.
It depends, but yes. But it's different now.
It's not the worst, and that's why you got booed. It's
this
the fucking
particular one was because when you go and like I would make so much money in colleges that I was like I would get offers to do clubs and I'm like, why am I doing this?
Right.
This was my week.
Yeah.
But like I say, when comedy changed in like 2015, where you had to be everywhere and do a guest spot here
Right.
and there and this, but then it's like everybody was playing arenas and then doing 10 minutes over here at Flappers, and it's like because this is the world we in now, and it's good, right? The community becomes closer. So, but at the time I was just like doing colleges and some big clubs and corporates. Anyway, I did it Oklahoma University. It was, I think, in the summer of 2000. I was filming a movie. My agent's like, you got to keep this gig, so you have to leave the movie and go back and do it. I had to do like 45 minutes, and I had like an okay 25 at that point because I already put some stuff on TV, and I was always like, don't use the sit, use it on TV at the right new. And it was like not a gig that they pay to see. It was like
Right.
It was like people that were like, if you don't want to go see the Blue Man Group over here, or if you don't want to see someone, so Jamie Kennedy is in Hall H. And so it was like 5,000 kids or 4,000 kids, and probably after about 12 minutes I started eating about the same size comparable that Eleanor was eating in Long Island of a cock, maybe bigger.
Yeah.
And
I've had some big ones, but that was the biggest.
it was a massive dong. And then you start going, and where are you from? Oh, what is your major? And all this stuff. And then
Where are you from? What do you
your
do?
major, like that. They're like, I'm a freshman, asshole. Like
in college,
So-
where are you from? What do you do?
So I'm sweating. I'm thinking of the money and stuff. And so I made a fucking joke. I'm sorry. I said I'm fucking bombing worse than Timothy McVeigh, which is where
That's a great joke.
Well, it's where I was at, and I
Oklahoma?
said,
I mean, when in Rome, if you will.
and boo, fuck yeah, boo, like fucking crazy. Was absolutely bananas.
That's
I
amazing.
thought I was going.
That's a
to,
terrible thing to say in their city because
it
they're
was
being
terrible.
people
It
are
was-
hating them for that.
It was
So?
terrible.
When in Rome.
I'm just saying, like
Let
wrong
take
place.
a joke.
Hold on.
Wrong-
I want to go back to your thoughts because I want to see. So
Yeah, yeah.
exactly, comedy is a goddamn.
Right.
Comedies when you're up there, it's like, and you just for those minutes it's so intense. And when at that point when you only have a good 13 and you got to do 45, boom. And I was like, want to give them their money's worth. Yeah, I made a mistake. But Eleanor can respect the joke of which I went into the darkest place.
Look,
But
I
you
get
also
it.
say it was
Poke the bear.
terrible. So it's interesting to hear your guys' take on it. You should talk about it.
No, I'll tell you one thing.
I'm
The
sorry. Am I
reason-
going to get canceled for this?
Stop it.
No, you're only
You
going to get promoted.
apologize
So
for
far,
that. It's
so
Oklahoma.
far,
They've done a lot worse than that joke. Please.
All right. First of all, the reason I said I don't like these college gigs is because the age that these kids are at and the environment they're in, they're extremely politically correct.
And
It's
they're
done
so
now.
so
The
college.
last one was 2016 for me. It's done. You can't do
okay.
a college
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. But I'm
This
just
is in the
saying.
late 90s.
It's because their frontal lobe isn't developed fully.
It's not necessarily that. It's the social pressure that they're all under. So all of these kids around each other, they're politically correct. They're at an age that they're not comfortable. Every colleges I've ever played were the most difficult crowds to play.
I've never
You
played
do
a
a sexual joke,
I didn't
they're
even go.
uncomfortable with it. You do a political joke, they're uncomfortable with it.
Back in the day, it was great, but probably not.
So, but in your case in particular, it's not even easy to play a 4,000, 5,000 seater arena. That's a different performance, yeah. And then for you to be doing crowd work in a fucking 4,000 seater house, it's set up for a fail.
Yeah. Well,
on top of that, you hit the wrong line, and I get you because we've all been in like many scenarios where we're having a very tough set.
I hit it now to tell the story in a way that you could appreciate it, but in that moment,
I would have hit that
line,
line, and I would have hit that line hard.
Yeah, because you're
and
a female wrestler. You would have just hit that line to beat some people's ass afterwards. Like, fuck you.
I'll tell you, it was so bad that I got my agent got a note. Like we're putting his name on the circuit. Like, don't ever book Jamie
sensitive
Kennedy.
little shits.
And that was '99.
Let's talk about something that we can share with people that nobody else can.
Dude, we should have a 9-hour podcast because we haven't even scratched the surface. I don't know why you had two crazy people on the same time.
I don't give a fuck. I'm having a great talk.
Psychotic behavior runs rampant.
There is a physical experience that we go through that when you're bombing. And nobody can understand that physical fucking thing that's happening when you're standing there and your set is kept going down, right?
Does that ever happen to you?
Oh, many times. Many fucking times.
Because
I'll
he's
tell you
so
a story.
likable, and he's just he's not going to do an Oklahoma Timothy McVeigh joke.
One time.
I'm saying this.
He's not
going to say what the things I say.
I commented on my shit, and I forgot I was in front of 4,000 people. I was like, oh, fuck. And then like, fuck yeah.
I didn't mean to trigger you.
And
I'm
then
just
I brought
saying.
up like a Bosworth reference on top of it. It's shit on me.
He's more of a safe, likable comic who.
He pushes the edge, though.
No,
what?
Everybody hears that.
On what he knows.
Everybody bombs. Everybody.
What he knows.
How could you start as a comedian and not bomb? Dude, I bombed so many times. I've been booed. So I have one booing story. Booed.
Who booed you? Give me their fucking name.
Comedy Union.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, well, that's what you get for going there. Because that's a shithole.
It was a...
You're not getting booked.
I don't give a shit.
You're not getting booked.
He used to run the Comedy Store. He's a piece of shit.
Oh,
I don't care.
No. T
So
is
go
being
ahead.
spelled.
Bay, bitch.
Comedy Union.
Trash.
I'll never forget. It was a female wrestling convention. And I was performing. No,
Those bitches will
I never forget.
take your life.
I pick on. Here's the thing. The reason I brought up the physiological part is that you're on stage and you're not doing well. Physically, I'm sweating and I'm uncomfortable. My voice is, when you have a lot of fear, then you react differently. Like, I get more aggressive when I'm scared. And in this case of performance, when I say aggressive, I try to be ballsier. I try to be like, I'm not scared, so I'm going to say this, right? So, same mistake. I'm bombing. I'm not getting any laughs. Now, in my head, is 10 times worse. So I keep getting more nervous, and I pick on somebody. And I pick on this Asian guy in the audience.
You're bullied.
And I say something, and I try to get a laugh off of him.
It's not nice to pick on the Asians. It's not popular.
And I said, but it wasn't like, I didn't say anything racial. I said something, and his comeback was way funnier than anything I had said the entire fucking set, right? I don't know what the fuck I said, but I just remember he turned around and said like something like, you work at a gas station, something. I must have made fun of his job, and then he goes, it's not as worse as your job at the gas station or some shit, and the crowd just like burst into laughter. And I fucking never forget.
But by the way, that's kind of racist on his part.
It is.
He didn't even make you the owner?
It is. But, but you all know when a comedian is not funny, anything that people say, the whole crowd is together,
They love it.
Yeah.
They love when they win.
So then the guy was funnier than me. Everybody laughs. And then I just died. And so I'm trying to look for another fucking joke or something. And people started booing me. Just together they go boo boo, and it gets worse and like louder and louder, and in my head I go, I'm not giving up, I'm gonna fucking finish my set. So
Sure.
I'm like, I'm pushing to
How
like do another.
dare
I'm like,
you.
well, whatever,
You can't beat me.
whatever, and then I start going into another joke, and then I see Enz, the owner of the comedy
I
club,
know.
with a little
don't have to
fucking
say his
candle. He goes like, get off stage, get off stage. And I'm like, no, I'm not fucking getting off stage. I'm finishing my set. And they get louder. Boo! And the most awkward
Good for
part
you.
is I
Just to
dropped
make
the
him
mic.
mad, I like it.
dropped the mic. And now I have to get off stage. The most uncomfortable part is you have to walk
Through them.
through the entire like in the middle of everyone. So as they're booing me, it was a fucking nightmare. I'm just like walking. I'm just like, fuck. It was the
You're like,
longest walk
Don't hit me. Don't hit me.
in the
'cause you never
history
know
of my
if people get
comedy,
angry.
man. I get out and I feel just demolished. I don't know what happened. I feel like I'm a little dizzy. I go home. And you can imagine, I'm depressed for the whole fucking week. I'm a new comic. I'd only been doing comedy maybe a couple years. And I was so freaked out. I'm like, I don't know if I can ever do this again.
Yeah.
How
And
long have you been doing comedy?
19 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's fucking 19
Wow.
years. And so next time I got on stage, I was so scared. I was at the Comedy Union the next time, like a week later. I was doing this every Wednesday night show. And there was a comic named Rob Little, and he's a sweet guy. And he's like, "Hey Max, I heard about what happened." And I said, "I know, I'm really, really nervous." And he goes, "Don't worry, man, you're gonna kill tonight." And
Oh, that's sweet.
I was probably second on the lineup. And he's like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Hey Rob, skip me one." He's like, "Okay, no problem." So he skips me one, brings a comic
Max,
up.
please, you're breaking my heart. I can't take
I
it.
was dying.
This
and
is
then
my feminine side coming
I'm
out.
in the hallway.
My dick went in.
I'm pacing in the hallway, and then it's my turn. He goes, "You ready?" I'm like, hey, please skip me one more. And he goes, "Okay, all right, but you got to go." I was like, "All right." And then I just repeated this, and
Gotta
then
get
the
on
next
that
comic,
bike.
and then he goes, "No, Max, you're going up now." And I was like, "Rob, I don't know." He goes, "I'm introducing you." He runs on stage. He gives me the nicest intro. I remember my roommate had come with me just to hold my hand the whole fucking time, and I go on stage. I was so terrified, and I think that set was make it or break it for me. I go on
Changing
stage.
point of what you feel. Yeah.
I had a good set, thank God, because I don't know what would have happened if I had bombed again.
Well,
That's how much fear I had inside.
wow.
And I got on stage, 2 minutes, got some laughs. I'm like, okay, they like me. Then I got my courage, and then I ended up having a good set. So then I was like, okay, I got it. I can do this. And then, I got lucky.
Yeah, you got real lucky because after that thing in Long Island for me, we had a show the next night at the State Theater in Jersey, and I got booed again. So everything worked out.
No. 2 nights in a row. Oh.
So what happened after that?
That's when he let me go for a year because he thought. But the other guy got booed as well. Wasn't just me. And the other guy had been doing stand up for quite some time. It was just a weird dice crowd.
I was just gonna say, keep in mind, this is a dice crowd.
They boo. They do this to people.
But
It
if
was
you
like a
get-
thing. You would boo the opening acts just to get him to come on quicker.
Oh my God.
So years ago, like the great Lenny Clark, who I absolutely adore, went up and Andrew's like, you got to do your time. They're going to boo you, but this have to do your time. And because it was so mania back then that Lenny went up and he took his shoes off, took his sock off and started clipping his toenails while he was on stage. Because he was so mad. He was so mad that they just booed him.
No.
But Andrew made him do the time, like just do something.
And
Just
Lenny is fucking
brilliant.
brilliant.
One of my favorite
They
comics.
wouldn't even listen to Lenny.
No.
Then you must feel much better.
I
after that.
did after, but then Wheels, I don't know if you know Wheels Parisi, he said, yeah, I never got booed. I was like, fuck you, Wheels. Fuck you.
Well, some comedians have a particular style that just happens to work for that
Yeah,
shit.
or,
You know what I mean?
And when we were in California, the one place that we did, the first night was great. The second night, the power went out. And Andrew was like, get off stage. And I was like, all right, we'll be back. Like, I don't know why I was being so cocky because I had a good set the night before. And I was like, we'll be back. We're going to fix this. Like, they could hear me. It was 2,000 people, right? And so I get off, and it took him an hour to fix it. So Andrew said, you don't have to go on if you don't want. And I said, oh, no, I'm here. I'm going on. And so I was a little nervous that I was like, how dare me to pipe up and volunteer myself to go out. It's a dice crowd. They're wasted. They waited an hour. The power's been out. The lights were out. The everything was off. So I was like, I don't care. I'm going out. And I had a picture of Freddie Soto I always keep in my pocket. And I started rubbing it. And I was just like rubbing Freddie's picture. And Wheels came up behind me and he goes, even he can't help you now.
What a fucking asshole.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It made me laugh so hard. But I had a good set. I went out and had a good set.
Wow.
Because he made me laugh.
Right
it made
before
me,
she goes
he
on, he
calmed
said
me
that.
down.
You got a tough skin, though. You
Yeah.
are
have to.
tough. Eleanor, you're tough.
That's a tough jumping
Yeah.
to get booed
amazing.
like that. And then,
But it's an also beautiful jumping.
yeah, true. And then to come back and learn to master his crowd and then steal some of his fans. Because a lot of his fans
Wow.
come see me when I headline. So I thank them.
Dice
thank
gives a lot of people breaks.
100%.
When I started, we were talking off air about how Holtzman
Oh,
used to
yes.
work with her, who's Brian
You want to
Holtzman,
talk about politically incorrect?
the most brilliant comic. And when I started 30 years ago, Brian was the king of our circuit. You know, he was a guy that would come on the open mic sometimes, but he was really this guy that everyone was starting to get into the store and all these places. And he was
Oh, Mitzi loved it.
the most fearless guy you'll ever meet. And was another guy on our circuit by the name of Eric Edwards. And Dice, I don't know where he saw him, but he said,
Probably
I
the
love
store.
you.
Yeah.
And Eric started opening up for Dice as a very young comic. So Dice has a history of giving young comics
Sebastian,
a break.
Sort of, Eddie Griffin.
Yeah. So it's like, it's funny what people's persona is. Dice to me is absolutely brilliant and hilarious, but his persona is like this tough guy. Doesn't give a fuck, but he's the sweetest guy and gives a lot of breaks to people.
Wait, can you tell the story? Because Holtzman told me this story about Jamie. They went to an audition for In Living Color, and the line was very, very long.
I'll try to remember all of it, but like there was, I think it was In Living Color. It was,
Yeah, it
like
was.
the last season, or like we didn't know, but somebody had left and they were looking for
A replacement.
a replacement, and they were having open calls, so anyone could go. So there was a fucking line,
like
Sunset
6 blocks long.
Sunset Gower, longer. Do you know what that area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a line, and it went around the corner, and it was a checkpoint, and there was a checkpoint, and a checkpoint, and a checkpoint, and it was insane. It was probably 10 blocks long.
Yeah.
We're there, and we're fucking waiting for hours.
Way at the
Like,
back. Yeah.
way more than you would wait at the factory. Like, it was
Right,
like...
right.
And I think we're 4 or 5 hours in, and Holtzman's, I think we're both like, fuck this. So we fucking saw a trash truck.
Yeah, this is it.
And we fucking waited, and we got on the trash truck and held on to the fucking trash truck and went through the gates of Sunset Gower and got to the front of the line.
And they got seen.
And
These
we-
two shits.
We got fucking seen.
Hold on.
For In Living Color.
But you didn't get
and
cast.
I had a pretty good. I didn't.
No.
No, I got in and finagled my way and got in and went this.
You
and
know
went
what I
this,
feel like?
And I had a good audition, and I didn't get a call back.
Jamie,
But-
if you walked in on that audition and you said how you got in, they would have casted you both.
Damon, who's a dear friend, loved Holtzman
Yeah.
and put him in his show years later. And then
He did so well that they remembered him.
so
I
crazy.
like Brian. I really think Brian is probably one of the kindest, sweetest, most weirdest.
Don't give me that shit, Jack.
You know, but I don't understand when it comes to performance and talent. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Really?
I don't get it.
You know why?
Whoa.
I'm going to tell you why. You wouldn't do a Timothy McVeigh joke in Oklahoma.
I wouldn't.
Holtzman would have brought the envelope out.
He would have brought his own gas. What are you commenting on? Are you commenting that he's not doing his job for the paying customer, but he's brilliant, or are you just not getting his comedy?
think
'Cause it seems like you get his comedy.
Yeah, look, of course, it's so fucking fun to see somebody go so honest and so fucking
He
wild.
might be the most honest comic
100%.
I've ever seen.
Yeah,
More than
but,
anyone.
But
Him
look,
and maybe Doug Stanhope.
But
Stanhope's
the
up
thing
there.
is, he's such a sweet fucking guy. I wish he could work more. And I would have the conversation like, dude, if you just not say this couple of fucking words here,
Yeah.
He's got two pensions. He's fine.
He would fucking
Let him be him.
And
How do you have two?
but we're talking. But look,
He's crazy.
I've always wanted him to do more, like better spots at the Laugh
No, me
Factory.
too.
He's
And
closing.
I will say this pandemic, he went down to Austin and he's working in front of a different crowd and they really love him down there. And he's like, oh. And then when he came to Reno, out of the 5 shows, he had one not great show.
That's amazing.
And it was, and that is good because he kept score the whole way. Laugh Factory 1, Holtzman 3.
The brilliance of Brian is he doesn't play the game.
Right.
And the super brilliance of Brian, he says everything, not only that you're thinking, that you're scared to say, and he's also saying it in a way for us to say it's okay to say this because there's no hate
if
in
you
his
put
art.
it in that perspective, 100%.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about a different perspective, and that
I'm talking
is
about more business.
working.
I'm talking about the artist.
I'm rooting for you. I want to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
you do well. I want you to
I'm
come
on
to the
the
Laugh
artist
Factory
side.
and get more fucking spots. You know, Holtzman would come in the Laugh Factory and fucking couldn't get a spot, and I'm standing in that lobby, and my heart's melting for him. But, you know, the philosophy of having the courage to go say what's on your mind, that's always respect. That's mad respect. But I think the art is doing that and yet working more. And Chappelle is a great fucking example if we want to say. He says the most edgy, dangerous things that he wants to say, but he says it in a way that's funny and he can get away with it. And I think that's where you take the art form and you really perfect it. And when you said Holtzman, I feel like these are the comedians that are great comedians to learn from.
Yeah.
You know, for us, like, because I want to say shit that's on my mind. I'm so scared, right? I had to cut so many of my jokes since post-pandemic coming back. Anything that was racial,
Absolutely
any
not.
Fucking
Don't
thing
cut
I
it.
had, I just can't say it. I
I
say
will.
it. I
will.
tried a
Come
couple
see me,
of
I'll
things,
say
and
Well,
it doesn't
you're-
fly.
I don't care.
Before you leave, because
Oh, yes,
I know you
they're
have the
texting me
softball
about
thing.
the
I know.
softball
I just
team in
checked
my-
the time because I
You're
didn't
leaving
want.
for a
Look
fun
at-
I want to make
Dude,
sure.
there's like 30 messages right now about.
Where are you? We need a shitty shortstop.
Thank you for listening to our episode.
Guys,
We're going to
thank
say
you. I'm
bye to Eleanor because there's a lesbian softball league that she needs to join.
Guys, I'm living my
And-
truth,
Something
and they
about
hate me
lesbians.
for it
It's
because they're
called-
white males.
Buddy, let's talk about one more thing before you go. Relationships are fucking difficult for comedians. And just for comedians in general to be able to date is way more difficult than many other people in different professions. You're single?
I mean, it's complicated. How do I say that?
So it is. So you're single, meaning you can't fucking say I have a girlfriend, I love her, and I can't wait to marry her.
No, but why exactly why you just said it's an issue. What? All right, so what's your question?
But you know, I'm asking you to see if first of all you feel like this business has made it harder for you to date and be in a relationship.
No, I don't think so. I think I got into this business because I'm like that. I think that I never thought of relationships. I never thought of marriage, any of that shit, family or kids. I just thought, what's my next job? What's my next paycheck? What's my next fun time? But why is it so hard for comedians to have this? I'll explain it to you. You already know this, but I had a girlfriend and she broke it down and she was like, I remember I was outside my gate and she was just like, it hit her like a lightning bolt. She's like, I get it. She's like, you're in a new city. You just unpacked your bag. You got your check. You emptied all your merch. There was some chick that loved you in that town. You're on to the next one. Your whole life is disposable. And she's like, and it just is across the board. And she's like, you are a free bird. And that was brilliant. And that's the truth.
I mean, we have a lot of comedian friends that are married and have kids and blah blah, right? But in general speaking, it's harder for us to keep that. And basically, for what you just said, there's a lot more temptation around.
I think the comedy attracts people that like to take chances. I think comedy attracts people that want to walk the line.
Yeah.
And I think it's not a safe life. there's a lot of how awesomeness to it, and there's a lot of sadness to it.
Do you think about having, you want kids?
I think about it. I'm not ready to make that leap or that jump. I'm too self-involved, but then people say once you do it, it kind of takes over naturally and it enriches you. So I think that's a big thing that I should look at. But the world is so weird right now. Who knows? My values change every couple of days, bro. The way the shit's going. But I've lived, man. I've been very fortunate. I have lived. And now it's like, this is gonna sound corny as shit, but you're Middle Eastern, so you'll get it. But like a good cup of, like, you ever sit down, you do this is your culture, But I've been to different parts of the Middle East, and just a good meal. Like I had, you have Turkish coffee? Can I say that here?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I don't know if you guys fight or whatever.
No,
but,
you
so
can say
like
that here.
a fucking amazing, like sitting on like the veranda of a hotel, looking out at the fucking ocean, having a beautiful glass of Turkish coffee, smoking a hookah with a woman that you love, and having like the best glass of vodka and the best fucking baklava. I'm not saying that because of your culture. I'm saying it because I've done that. But I did a show in I did Jeddah, right? You probably did it too.
Yeah.
And
Laugh Factory's gig. Yeah.
And there's a woman. Oh God, I forget her name. Samir. You know Samira?
Yeah, we did a show in Middle East in Saudi Arabia in Jeddah.
Look,
it was a big festival.
Yes, but I did. Listen, I've done Paris. I've done London. I've done, but there. I'm just using you because you are Middle Eastern, but also because of the way the culture is. We fucking had a killer fucking meal at like 1 a.m., smoked mad hookah, looking out in the verandas of the fucking Middle Eastern desert, and I was just like, it was just relaxing. And it was like a moment of taking in the good food and the good culture. And I was like, this is what life's about, the good things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's fantastic till like a bomb goes off 2 blocks away. You go, fuck this, take me back to LA now.
Yeah, I was gonna try to make a joke, but I couldn't.
Yes, you can.
Like, I'm trying to think of like, but can I have some baklava to go? You're right. You're right about that. Am I ignorant?
Yeah, no. It's Middle East is very.
Dude, I did shows in. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
I did shows in Beirut, and it was the most loving, one of the top loving crowds I've ever been in, and they loved the fact that I would joke about their culture. Because I did this joke where I would walk in a fucking shawarma shop, and it's gonna be the best shawarma. And it was like 3 a.m. and the guy goes, "Come on in, friend. Nobody gonna blow you up." He was hilarious, but like you think it's this, and I talked to the locals, and they're like, "I know we have this thing of like it's not always. It's not. It's not as the media paints this picture. Yes, that happens, but there's a lot of great things there too."
Dude, the Middle East audience
is literally bomb.
Way better than fucking Oklahoma.
I know.
But dude, so we did this show in the Middle East in Saudi Arabia in Jeddah, and I never forget. I was there. I was so fucking bored because
you can't do nothing.
It's very Muslim. You can't. You don't meet anybody. There's no bars or there's none of that shit.
I drank
right?
a lot of fruit juice.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of comedian male guys sitting around. So you know what I did? I went on. I just wanted to see if Tinder works in Saudi Arabia.
No,
bro, true story. I went on Tinder.
Whose eyes did you make?
It worked. It worked. There was fucking Tinder in Saudi Arabia. The only difference is when you swiped, the whole picture didn't change. Just the eyes changed.
Yeah, I know. But hold on. Did you get eye?
I got, dude, I was a stud in Saudi
No!
Arabia. I matched 900%. Sincerely, though.
Did you go out?
I did meet a few people in Saudi Arabia off of a fucking dating app. This is true.
Did you get ankle?
No, they just stayed on the other side of the river, and I stood on the side of the river, and we just go, hi. She goes, assalamu alaikum. I said, assalamu alaikum. She goes, do you like shawarma? I said, the best shawarma I've ever had.
Dude,
she goes, nice to meet you.
Can I tell you, the women there were absolutely beautiful for what I literally saw eye and ankle. And that was it. Like, but I could see, like, one took me on a tour, and I could see that she wanted to get out, and like, but she couldn't take it off. She told me the whole history of it. But
really,
I went.
You went out with somebody that
no, I went out.
That she had a whole burqa.
She had everything, bro. But no, it wasn't like a date. It was like she was a tour guide for
Yeah.
a couple of us, me and Lonzo, and we went to Old Jeddah, and then it was awesome.
So you could only see her eyes,
Yeah,
and you were so curious what she looks like.
I could tell that she was pretty hot, but she had beautiful eyes.
But you
it
don't
was so
know.
inviting.
But you don't know.
I don't know, but I could see
That's
that-
your
Dude, well-
optimist.
Well, she
that's
it's my
your very-
optimist.
Yeah.
But she had like she was petite, but like, and is it what do you call it? Dashiki. Burqa?
Hijab. I don't know.
Hijab. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a hijab. Dashiki.
Burqa.
It might be okay. So her hijab, I knew that she was like slight, but then the hijab went like, so like there was like the hijab went out this way, and I know her back was over here, and the end of her hijab was
Jamie
there.
Kennedy's-
So I'm saying that she had something in Aladdin's lamp. It was out there. Am I allowed to say?
Jamie Kennedy's X-ray vision.
No,
She's
it
like,
was-
I can see through burqas.
It was the circumference, because she like yeah. Anyway,
That's your special
her
power.
hijab was out there, so I was like, I loved it, but I don't know what. I loved it. I loved
course.
touring Jeddah, and I loved it. But we did probably a theater of 1,000 people, and it would be 18 people.
Yeah.
Because you can't do
the
jokes
worst.
about religion, you can't do jokes about sex, you can't do jokes about sexuality, or you can't do jokes about politics. So I said, you can't do jokes. And then I said, I opened up, and my joke was, I said, so I heard women are allowed to drive here. And they just looked at me, and I go, why? And then I got a lot of, like, I got teeters. Did you get teeters? And then they came up to me after the show. I did a meet and greet, bro, and they said, "Oh, we see all your stuff on YouTube." So it's all bullshit.
Oh.
They said so much to me. They spoke perfect English. They just aren't allowed to say it publicly. But they were like,
It's
they
a
consumed
reserved culture.
But it isn't.
Very reserved.
It is on the paper.
Yeah.
But they're fun.
Or yeah. So
I
Jamie,
gotta go with you next time, and I'll shut up. We gotta go to a palace because I heard the parties in the palace.
Really?
They're sneaky palaces. You
Nobody
never heard
took-
that? Honest to Christ.
Honestly, nobody took me to the palace.
Dude, so apparently all these other dudes, I met a sheik, and the sheik was like, but low key sheik wasn't like super balling out sheik, and he's like, this is the palace next time you go. Like they have like the, you can drink. I think you can drink in them. You can't drink in Jeddah, right?
No.
So
No.
you didn't drink.
Yeah, no. I don't drink.
You don't drink at all?
No.
You can't smoke a shashish.
Shashish.
Isn't it called shashish?
Shisha.
Shisha. That's right. I knew there was a sheesh.
Before you leave, because I
Yeah.
know you have this meeting coming up. But I want to say, if
7 hours.
you know, if you would, because I know as someone who's writing and performing and fucking doing comedy and acting, and you're doing it all. What is the dream come true project for you?
My dream is to have my audience follow me wherever I go. And so I can do that. And then I don't have to worry about the man, so to say. You know what I'm saying? So I can distribute my movie or whatever. But I think I'm probably going to have to direct at some point because I've done it for so long and I don't direct. But I've worked with too many directors, and I've worked with too many great ones, and I've worked with some not great ones, and I understand it. And I think probably something that I write and produce and I'm passionate about, I'll probably have to direct. And I think that would be like my own little baby, independent dramedy, to show people the other side.
So you do a dramedy?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
do-
100%.
Okay.
And I've done dramatic parts before, but they're more psycho. But like people, really like me in that. And I think that sometimes comedy for me is acting.
Yeah, it's ironic that comedians play amazing psychos.
Is it are you being serious?
No, I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, because
We
comedians,
do.
they say like comedy shares the same chromosomes except one with serial killers. Have you ever heard that?
No.
That's true.
Wow.
Look that up on DSM-4, which is the psychotic insight.
Interesting.
But long story boring is that, comedians, we're being funny, but we don't really kind of want to be funny. Like, when I go on stage, I want to fucking rant. I want to go crazy. But it's like, you paid $30, you want to escape your life, and my job is to help you. But really, I want to fucking sham so much truth down your fucking throat that you choke.
It's so true. I loved having you.
I loved it,
And
man.
I feel like we really we just touched upon a few things. There's so much for us to talk about.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, bro. I
Buddy,
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining me. This was amazing.